So it's finally happened. I mean, it's been penciled in apparently. Amir Khan is finally set to face Kell Brook in a Christmas fight as rivals finalise talks with Eddie Hearn. This is obviously on the Sun newspaper, which I'm not going to say anything that's going to get me sued, but a lot of people know that the Sun newspaper is not seen as most credible. But let's just be real, Eddie Hearn is the one that's actually saying that they're looking for a fight like this for Christmas. So yeah, it's a little bit late. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if they would have fought in their prime, it would have been a more enticing fight. It would have been more interesting. Let's just say after Brook won his IBF title, if they were to fight then I think it would have been a very interesting fight. But it is what it is. We're gonna see the fight now. Hopefully, you never know what can happen in boxing. Anyone can get injured before the fight. Anything can happen until both of them are literally across the ring from each other. I don't really take any take anything for granted in terms of this. Like I see it as the only way I see it as actually happening is when they're both across each other in the ring. So in my opinion, this is a interesting fight at this point. It's not as compelling as it once would have been if they would have fought when they're both at their absolute peak. But at the same time, both of them are coming off losses. Both of them are vulnerable. I'll be honest with you, I actually thought that Kell Brook would have won this fight if they would have fought back in their peak. The reason why I thought that was because I just feel like he had a better chin. He had very good timing. So I think he would have caught Amir Khan. Amir Khan's one of them fighters. In the first couple of rounds, he's going to out-slick you. Unless he's on 100% point form, like he was against Luis Collazo and Devon Alexander, where he can stick to a game plan. He's gonna make a mistake eventually, and when he does make a mistake, the first couple of rounds he's gonna outbox you like he always does. But then eventually, what's inevitable and can happen is probably gonna happen, which is he's gonna make a silly mistake, and you can time it and catch him in between your shots. I mean, if you look at his fights, the fights where he's actually struggled when he's been knocked out, a lot of times the reason why he got knocked out was because opponents caught him when he was actually lackadaisical to some extent. So he was in a position where he was throwing punches with his chin up in the air and he just got caught. So in my opinion, I think a prime Kell Brook would have caught Amir Khan in a similar type of way. But at the same time, in my opinion, at this point in time, it's not a prime Kell Brook. Kell Brook is obviously coming off his loss against Terence Crawford, where Terence Crawford didn't seem like he needed to put much resistance to actually knock him out. He just needed to actually put him in a position where he switched southpaw and caught him with a right hand, and then that was it. The fight was over. So at this point in time, I think Kell Brook's chin is somewhat damaged. It's not what it once was. So I think at this point in time, I think Khan might be in a position where he can blow a fighter out. Now, Khan has been known to actually stop fighters early. Like if you look at the Marcus Maidana fight, he dropped him with a body shot. The Phil LaGreco fight, he knocked him out in the first round. There's been many fights early in his pro career when he had less than 10 fights where he used to knock professionals out in the first 10 rounds. On top of that, if you look at fights such as for example when he fought Lamont Peterson, he dropped him in the first round. So Amir Khan is a fast starter. He's a fighter that likes to put it on you. So maybe if he catches Kell Brook early, he could actually knock him out. But I'll be honest with you, this fight was to happen, and it was going to be the way it was going to be. The opportunity comes. I think I don't know who I'm going to call this a pure 50-50, because both fighters are completely washed up at this point. And in my hopes, I think because both of them are washed up, I think it's going to be a more competitive fight, because both of them are in a desperate position where they're both going to try to knock the other guy out. Now, Kell Brook, despite the fact that his chin is shattered because he's fought Golovkin and Errol Spence and countless other fighters, and obviously he got knocked out in his last fight against Terence Crawford, I think there's a very good chance that he could actually get knocked out by Khan, because Khan, regardless of what you think about him, in the early rounds he is quite dangerous. He does catch fighters off guard with his speed. He just overwhelms you with speed, and he completely ices you. So in my opinion, there could be a chance that Amir Khan knocks him out early in the fight, but there's also a chance that Kell Brook actually catches Amir Khan. So in my opinion, if the fight would have happened when they're both in the prime, I think Kell Brook would have won it quite decisively. But now that they're both past it actually ironically makes it a more compelling fight for me. It's not as compelling as if they would have fought in their prime, because seeing both of them at the top of their peak of their powers fighting would have been incredible. It would have been an incredible super fight. But even now, I think it is a fight that's worth watching. And I think I'm definitely I'm ashamed to say this, but I'm looking forward to it, even though I shouldn't look forward to it, because the fact is that Amir Khan has duped the fans for a long time. For a long time, he's ducked Brook, and now he's taking a fight because he's got no other options. He can't fight Pacquiao because Pacquiao's fighting Ugas. He's probably going to retire after that fight, unless if he beats Ugas, he might have one more fight with Errol Spence and then call it a day. Mayweather's retired and he's only doing exhibition bouts, so the only option Amir Khan has left for a big fight is obviously Brook. So to some extent he has mugged off the fans, to some extent you can say that, but unashamedly I am actually looking forward to it now. I am actually looking forward to this fight because there are more factors involved now, because both of them are vulnerable, and because both of them are vulnerable there's going to be more frills and spills. So yeah, that's my opinion. In terms of who I think is going to win now, I'm actually on the fence now, because obviously both of them seem to be vulnerable. So back in the day, if they both would have fought in the peak, I would have said Kell Brook, but now I'm not 100% sure who's going to win. So yeah, that's my opinion. Tell me your opinion below. Are you still excited for this fight? Would you like to see it? Who do you think will win? And do you think the fight will actually happen? Because even though they're saying it's going to come in Christmas, until both of them are across each other, I'm not actually I don't know, I just got this suspicion. I'm kind of skeptical if it is actually going to happen. So yeah, tell me what you think, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.